Hello, thank you for tuning in to Pegasus. I am your host, Dr. Brittany Moore Henderson. The past 5 months have been filled with many changes to our normal daily routines. Social distancing and facial coverings have become a part of the new norm in order to limit the spread of COVID-19, which has been wreaking havoc throughout our country. As schools and businesses close due to COVID-19, MSU Animal Health Center has remained open around the clock to provide care for our patients in need. Joining me today to discuss how MSU Animal Health Center has been weathering the COVID-19 crisis is Dr. Joy Burt, Director of MSU Animal Health Center. Dr. Burt, thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me, Dr. Moore.
So, Dr. Burt, looking back to the very beginning of the pandemic, how was the MSU Animal Health Center affected with the day-to-day activities?
Sure. So, you say looking back to the beginning, it's hard to believe it's only been, 6 months or so now, but it seems like an eternity.
Yes.
Obviously, our guidelines and protocols here have changed and evolved as our understanding of COVID-19 has changed and evolved. But early on, we started out with things like deep cleaning of surfaces, social distancing, limiting access of certain people, reducing touch surfaces, and even early on, we added facial coverings and masks as early as early April. As things progressed and we went into the stay-at-home orders, we had essential personnel only here. At one time, even students were on online learning, but for the most part, we've kept our doors open and have been serving the public through it all.
Yes, we definitely have been. I mean, of course, this has been somewhat scary times, and we didn't know how to really, first deal with it because this was something unknown. But of course, like you said, we started or required the facial coverings very early on. So we were kind of ahead of the pack pretty much with that. So like you said, that at first we was doing our facial coverings. Then as we did the stay-at-home order, we had essential staff. During that time, what precautions were we taking with the essential staff when they were in the building other than doing the facial coverings?
Sure. We've done things like, again, social distancing, limiting of number of personnel in the areas, reducing congestion in areas, increasing the filtration of the air in areas. We have virucidal filters. We've also been exchanging the air in our building 100%. So we are sending all of the air in the building out and bringing fresh air in to heat and cool and such. And we have in the process even added in UV sanitation. Now, UV sanitizers on the air handlers are not completely installed yet, but like I said, they are in process. Other things that we've done is like you mentioned, the sanitizers, hand sanitization, all over the place. Again, being a hospital environment, I think we were used to dealing with potentially zoonotic and infectious agents, and it just became kind of a natural norm for us to adopt these with COVID-19.
Exactly.
So other things.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Other things that we've done are the temperature monitoring stations. So employees are encouraged and required to monitor their clinical signs, and if they have any, to stay at home. And then, like I said, we have temperature monitoring stations where they can even check that body temperature multiple times a day if they would like.
So we have had quite a bit of precautions, taken pretty much a lot of precautions in order to, stop the spread of COVID-19. How has that affected our clients, if any?
So it has in fact affected our clients, and of course, early on with the stay-at-home order, they were allowed to travel for pet care, but like I said, it definitely decreased the number of people that were getting out and about and seeking that care for their pet. Since the stay-at-home order, we've also limited owner interaction within this building, pretty much to less than 15 minutes, only under certain dire circumstances. Most people that are presenting animals are met in the parking lot. All of the information is relayed or received from them via telephone. We do check on our clientele multiple times a day to make sure that everyone is faring well, especially in this Mississippi heat. But like I said, so far we are trying to keep everyone out of the building and create a little bubble here that's safe for our students to learn in and safe for our staff and faculty to work in.
Exactly, that's definitely important because, of course, we have veterinary students, we have our clinicians and staff who are working hard to try their best to, take care of patients, but also, they're putting themselves at risk as well. So we have to do as much as we can to stop the spread. So for these clients, I know that sometimes that, they don't want to leave their pet. However, they understand what all we're going through, and this is unprecedented times pretty much. What else have we been doing? I know you mentioned that we have been, of course, checking in on them, but can you probably talk a little bit of how, when they first call us for an appointment, how that may go?
Sure, absolutely. When they first contact us, of course, we ask some of the standard questions that many of us are used to being asked when we're presenting at a doctor's office and such. Things like, have you been exposed to COVID-19? Have you showed clinical signs? Have you been tested, or anyone around you been tested, et cetera? If they answer yes to any of those, then we see if there is someone else that can bring or present that pet for them rather than having them come to the animal health center. If they say no, then like I said, we will note it and let the clinicians and students that are working on that case know as well. As I mentioned earlier, their information is gathered via remotely, usually by telephone. And then our staff and students go into the parking lot, meet them, introduce themselves, maybe give them a brief introduction, of course, all social distancing and wearing masks at this time. Retrieve the animal and bring it in. And then multiple times a day, they'll be back in touch with them via telephone. The same process is in reverse if the animal is discharged.
Exactly. So I know the clients, like I said, they could, maybe afraid of leaving their pets, but I believe that we are doing as much as we can to provide them with as much information as well as taking care of them, especially if they decide to stay in the parking lot. I know I see a lot of time our staff is taking water out to them and constantly going to check in to make sure that everything is fine. So I know they truly appreciate that. So,
sure. And we have phone numbers posted around and such. So if they feel like they're getting into any kind of trouble or have issues that they need help with, they're just a phone call away.
Okay. So for our students, what all have our veterinary students, pretty much how have they somewhat been affected about with the pandemic? Sure.
Well, early on, like I mentioned, it took us a little time to get up and running on our online instruction, and we also platooned them. So we would have approximately half the students at any given time in the building, half the students at home, and then rotate that. As time went on and we had the stay-at-home order, our students were totally at home and online for a couple of weeks, only in the building on a volunteer basis. As time has progressed, we've got them all back in the building. We've made arrangements for them to be able to socially distance in the areas. And like we talked, when that's not possible, not only are we wearing masks, but we have air filtration in place. We have different things along those lines to prevent the spread of this disease. I guess here, we fully expect someone in this building to come down with COVID. Our goal all along has been to be not an amplifier for the disease, so not have someone come down and spread that and share it.
Exactly, and I think we have been doing a good job with that, and I know our veterinary students truly appreciate that they're able to be in the building and actually seeing patients because that's a part of being a veterinarian.
That's right, and that's something that we've not found a way to replicate virtually.
Exactly. So, Dr. Burt, so I know you have recently been appointed to a new position, Assistant Dean for Clinical Services. Can you share a little bit about your new appointment?
Sure. Thank you. With the Assistant Dean position, I am now over all three of our clinical operations. So not only the Animal Health Center here at the College of Veterinary Medicine, but also our Veterinary Specialty Center, which is for neurology, ophthalmology, and imaging, along with oncology that is located in Starkville on Stark Road. And then lastly, over our Animal Emergency and Referral Center down in Flowood that serves the Jackson area for emergencies as well as for referral level care.
Awesome. Well, that's a huge task, Dr. Burt, but I know you are up for it and it is much deserved.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Sure. I guess one last thing I could mention. You mentioned, I know some of our clientele are very reserved about dropping their animals off or leaving them in our care. We do have the ability on an outpatient basis, if the animal is not is only getting outpatient care, to provide that care with the owner in place, and that's either done outside or, like I said, near the exterior entrance to one of the buildings.
Okay, that is definitely awesome. So they can just call and they can make that request when they're making their appointment.
That's correct. That's correct. And like I said, unfortunately, being a tertiary level care facility, most of our patients are not amenable to that type of appointment. But for those that it can work for, we're more than happy to work with the owner.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Burt. Are you or do you know a student that is interested in veterinary medicine or going to veterinary school? Our Office of Admissions provides weekly tips to aspiring veterinarians to assist them on their journey to veterinary school. We provide weekly tips on our Facebook and Instagram page. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit us at our website at www.vetmed.msstate.edu. And this concludes the end of our show. If you have questions, suggestions, or comments, please email me at brittany.henderson@msstate.edu. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you next time here on Pegasus.